Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Abkhang, but you'll simply know me as Elle of this very channel called ThroughEllesEyes. Now I know you guys think I forgot about you, but no, that's not the case. It's just that the last stretch of 2018 presented me with some crazy challenges. I'm talking cul-de-sacs, detours, baptism of fire, volcanoes erupting here, there, and everywhere. Yes, I know I'm being extra right now, but that's how it really felt like, and it made it quite difficult for me to record a well wishes video that I really wanted to do, so that I can tell you guys that I'm coming back and I'm taking a breather, and I'll see you on the flip side of 2019. But I hope that each and every one of you have crossed over safely into 2019, and then we can keep on kicking it on ThroughEllesEyes and checking out the content that other South African YouTubers and YouTubers at large are creating just for you. So this video is going to be a mashup of my highlights of 2018 and the well wishes that I so owe you. I have roped in resources that will help me to kind of unpack my highlights for 2018, and the prime resource for this is this little baby here. It's my vision board that I created early last year, and unfortunately after moving from where I used to live to this place, I've had to fold it up because I don't have ample space where I can mount it and it can be in full view. But because I've visualized and I know most of the details that I put down, it was easy for me to recall and say where and what are my goals. You know, where do I want to be, what do I want to do, how do I want to do it, and all those things, you know. So this is going to be my guide and go-to tool as I review 2018. I'm not going to go through a lot. It's just going to be the major things that I think stood out for me in the year of 2018. Now, the first and major highlight was traveling. I know I mentioned in my vision board video that I wanted to travel, and it was inspired by this book, My Dark Continent, My Black Ass. That's the title of the book. No profanities here, by Sihle Khumalo. He unpacks and he goes, basically he went on a Cape to Cairo excursion where he was said to do it before, I think he turned 30 or 31, because he felt like his life was it was very routine and monotonous, and he wanted to do something that was out there. And he started from Cape Town and ended up in Cairo, and along the way he met amazing people, and he basically debunks the myths about what people perceive Africa to be, especially people within Africa. One of the chapters that sparked my attention was Kenya, and my goal was to visit Kenya. And I remember I pitched it to my friend and I was like, okay, so these are the things that we need to look out for. We will go in this specific time of the year. We want to see the Serengeti, migration, all those things, but unfortunately we couldn't find great packages for the time that we want to travel, and ended up traveling to Bali. So that has to be one of the major highlights of 2018. Now the second point is I've combined giving as well as mentoring and believing in other people's dreams. So I'm passionate about different causes, and like the top three that I can think of is causes that are focused on education, taking care of orphaned children, as well as the elderly. And this year I've not only devoted my time but as well as financial backing to these causes, and for me it just left me feeling very fulfilled. One of my highlights was a public speaking engagement that I had with Bravado Movement, and I was invited by a fellow YouTuber, and it was not only a stepping stone for me in terms of my public speaking opportunities or gigs, it was also a matter of just getting to share and impart the knowledge that I wasn't necessarily exposed to as a young girl, because I think opportunities are there when you go out and look for them, but when you're young and you're 13, or actually they're in high school, so they're like 14, 15-year-olds, when you're young you don't know where to knock unless you're exposed or you're in a certain circle or in a different region, or your parents or siblings know people and they will foster those or facilitate those opportunities, you know what I'm saying? So for me it was actually amazing. And not only that, so I mentored 3 people in total. It was a young girl who was in matric, as well as a young professional graduate, as well as a colleague, and it was crazy. I never thought that I would have so much time to stretch myself, but in the process I learned a lot about myself, professionally, personally, and otherwise. And would I do it again? Hell yes. Now the next point is writing and the business side, because I have a side hustle which is a writing and editing consultancy, and that speaks to the writing space that I'm in. And one of the things that I mentioned in my vision board was that I would like to expand my portfolio by freelancing, whether it's paid or unpaid, but just maybe if I were a guest blogger, or if I wrote opinion pieces in publication, or whatsoever the case may be. But I had to turn down quite a lot of opportunities, because in that moment I had to realize that it's okay to say no. There was so much on my plate, and I really don't want to have myself half-heartedly into something, because then I will not give my all, and it would actually show in the end product, and I really don't like that, and I end up beating myself about the quality of work that I do. So no way, no how was I going to get into that pit. But on the flip side, my side hustle went very well. Now, what would this entry be without me mentioning the two? I mean, it was a good year for ThroughEllesEyes in 2018, and I think I've learned so much, and there are top 3 things that I want to highlight. But firstly, let's say yay to the 600 plus subscribers who have subscribed to ThroughEllesEyes. I appreciate it and I love it, guys. Keep on supporting me as well as other YouTubers out there, because we are doing this for you. Back to the 3 things that I mentioned, that those are learning curves that I had learned in 2017 and bettered in 2018, and I look to just build on that and refine the teachings and learnings that I have collected, you know, in the years. So the one is creating content. I mean, the difference between 2017 is that I would go for long periods without creating content and still hope that the channel would grow. So last year there was much more content, and I'm very, very happy about it. Like I mentioned, life happens, and I think that the art of YouTubing is also understanding, or anything really when it comes to content creation, is also understanding that you can create content for the future. You know, yes, we would all love to be commenting or creating content around current subjects or trends, but sometimes it might not even gel with the content or the focus that you're trying to do. So you can create content that is aligned to your vision and mission, and schedule it for the times when you feel that you would go black. I mean, creatives really have their dry seasons, and that's completely okay. But if you want to keep the momentum going, make sure that you keep recording those videos and schedule them as and when you would like for them to be published. Secondly is the fact that you definitely have to focus on the things that you like more. That makes you come across as authentic and as real as possible, and it's not as far-fetched because people can actually pick it up. So that's the one thing that I did. I focused on what Lebogang likes and executed it. And the last one is actively participating in the YouTube community space. I cannot stress this enough. You know, it makes it so much easier for you to broaden your network by engaging with other YouTubers and doing it genuinely. Can we please be those people who do it genuinely, not just because we want to leverage off their subscriber base, but just because you're interested and you actually watch the video. I really love that we can actively participate in the YouTube community, because there are pages, or Instagram, Facebook pages that are dedicated to the South African YouTube community that is growing in leaps and bounds. The next one is education. Now I know that education is not confined or limited to the 4 walls of the classroom. I mean, you can get your qualifications formally, which is great, but you can also do things informally through established channels that I need to make sure that I disclaim, because we don't want people going to fly by night, right? Even though I received some formal qualifications last year that are more aligned to my professional or work, the job that I do on a daily basis as a marketing and communication specialist, I make sure that I pursue something that is aligned to another passion. That's not YouTube. I think it also speaks to a lot of things that I do, you know. It has refined my communication and leadership skills, and this speaks more specifically to my public speaking. And in 2017 I joined Toastmasters International, so that I refined my communication skills and I got more than what I bargained for. But the good news is, in 2018, I completed my competent communication manual and will be recognized as a competent communicator, and I'm super excited about that, guys. Something that I started in 2017. I had always known or heard about Toastmasters International when I was in university, but I really didn't take a keen interest in it until I was more into my job and I wanted to refine the skill set that I already had. And just like that, in a matter of a year, I had completed my manual, and I'm hoping to complete the second one, which focuses more on leadership. Now the next one is family. Now this is a bittersweet one because in the run-up of me preparing for the next phase of my life, which was to get married, I experienced the loss of family members both from my maternal and paternal side. But I think though the two, and not to say that there was any one better funeral or passing of people, because I know it might come across as bad, but in May my cousin lost her husband, and they were young married couple with wonderful kids, and it scared me so much that I got to realize that in any moment, at any given time, even though you say the vows till death do us part, life will happen. And for me, seeing her in that position made me so sad, because it showed that life is so unpredictable. And yeah, I was super scared, and I kept on thinking, I don't want to lose my husband. I really would go crazy. And you know what they always say, you never know how you feel until you're in the situation. And I don't think I would ever cope, but I just hope and pray that his life is protected and that we get to do this life thing together. And like I said earlier on in the video, that the last stretch of 2018 was a bit crazy. I think the biggest challenge was having to deal with the loss of my uncle on the 16th of December. It was quite unexpected. We lost him. And I think for me, just dealing with losing him is recalling and remembering the impact that he had in my journey from being a young maiden and being a married woman. He was part of the delegation who negotiated my lobola, as well as just the rock, you know, because I remember during the celebration weekend where we had our traditional wedding celebration, he kept on saying, my baby, you are so blessed. Look at all these people here for you guys. So happy, because it was pouring for the better half of the day, and it was like, they are here, rain or not, and there are people that we haven't seen in ages. They are all here for you. And I don't think I've dealt with losing him, and I also think that it will take some time, but I do recognize that I'm in pain, and I know it's okay not to be okay. Now the last one is holistic wellness, and this is made up of 7 elements, and out of the 7 I would like to touch on 3. The first one being physical wellness. Now I knocked this one out of the park in 2018 because in February I started jogging and doing road work. So I started out very lightly, and it would be like 2 kilometers, 4 kilometers, until I reached the point where I would clock about 16 kilometers in terms of distance, and my time would improve every single time I went out. And it's very addictive, and I must be honest, guys, even though I had a trip to Bali, you know, in my sights, and I had a wedding that I was preparing for, yes, I wanted to look good in the swimsuit, yes, I wanted to look good in my dresses, but the prime motivator was the fact that I wanted to get my Discovery Vitality points up. You know, here I was paying for this facility that I wasn't benefiting from, and I just wanted to make sure that, hi, bo, let's just use it. And their reward system made me want to get out even more, want to push myself, because I got crazy rewards on a weekly basis, and it kept me going. So that for me got a top 10 out of 10 in 2018. The next one is financial wellness. I also ace this because I budget and I make sure that I don't spend money that I don't have. Even if I use my credit card, I always make sure that I have money that I would pay off the credit card for as soon as possible, because debt builds up. And for me, working in the financial space, I've been exposed to quite a lot of information, and it's made me more empowered compared to when I was way younger. But it's not like I was crazy about spending. I always used to save up for things that I wanted to get, and I honestly have not lived beyond my means. And I think that's the one thing that keeps me winning all the time, is that I know to stay in my lane. And for me, the biggest thing was making sure that, you know, when you start your life together with your partner, you don't want that tension of, say, there's no money in the house, or there's no money because we chose to spend money on a lavish wedding. So we made sure that we planned everything to the T. I'm a stickler for making sure that we stick to the budget. I've got this. I've got a notebook. Every year I have a notebook dedicated to budgeting, and I write out my budget on a month-to-month basis, and also compare between the spending habits, what went wrong here, why do we have less, why can't we save this month, and all those things. But 2018 went very well in that regard. And the final one under holistic wellness is mental health. I must say, I didn't fare very well in this department because I haven't been kind to myself. You know, on the vision board, there's a visual that says pause, play, and I failed to pause in between the moments, in between the achievements, in between the planning and, you know, the wins, you know, the losses as well, just to identify and reflect and say, oh, well, I failed. How does this make me feel? And I would really just say, oh, well, it's a fail. You know, dust yourself off and carry on, without identifying that it may have affected me and checking in with myself, you know. So it's also attributable to my personality type. I always have the urge to go, get things done, you know, push. But I must say that I was close to burning out. And another thing is that, unfortunately, in December, I suffered a panic attack. And it took quite a lot out of me to be weak, because I'm always strong. And yeah, I have to be true and honest to myself and say, take it easy, and there's no rush. You know, when the targets are met, they are met. When they're not, they're not. You need to recognize and compartmentalize things, you know. And another lesson learned is that I cannot project manage everything, even though I am a perfectionist and I have this certain way of doing things, and I'm hoping that people will do them the way that I do it. You just have to be kind to yourself and know when to delegate and let go of other things. And that's it for me, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and please comment down below and let me know what your highlights for 2018 were, as well as the lowlights, because a lot of people out there were saying, oh, 2018 showed them flames. I really hope that you have an amazing 2019. Please don't forget to subscribe to ThroughEllesEyes. If you don't know how to, I'll just put a face of myself somewhere up here so that you can click on there and subscribe to this very channel. Thank you so much. Love out.